I'm Janet and I started Tribe Sober. I'll share a little bit about my story in the presentation. And then I've got Sue next to me. Sue looks after our membership. So if you do decide to join us, then Sue will look after you and get you settled in. And then I've got Monica, who's keeping an eye on the chat. And Monica will make sure that I see any questions that you've got. So please, in the chat, just write any questions that you have. And Lynette is our amazing recovery coach, and some of you know her already. So let me share my screen now, and I'm just going to take you through the slides. So how to quit drinking and start living. I just wanted to reiterate that I am qualified to talk to you guys because I did the very familiar journey that many of us have done, from social drinking to self-medication to dependency. And then once I realized I was dependent, I spent 10 years trying and failing to moderate. I drank for 40 years and now I'm more than 9 years sober. So I am a qualified recovery coach and I'm a training and development professional. So I transferred my skills that I'd gained in corporate to creating Tribe Sober. And a bit about my journey. These are my 3 wake-up calls, just to distill quite a long drinking career into 3 key points for you. At the age of 25, I almost drowned in my bath and I had to be resuscitated by the medics because I'd gone to have a bath late at night, locked the door, been drinking and just passed out in the bath. A flatmate hammered on the door to say goodnight and check I was all right, but she dialed 999. So not only did the ambulance come, but the fire brigade came because they had to knock the door down. So that was a proper drama. But I didn't really pay any attention to that. We just turned it into a funny story. And my friends would say, oh, did you hear about Janet and her bath? What an idiot, ha ha. I wasn't worried about it. I just thought it's one of those crazy nights you have in your 20s. And it certainly was. There were a few more crazy nights in my 20s, but nothing on that scale. My drinking carried on steadily, ramping up over the years. The corporate scene, the work hard, play hard, married a heavy drinker. It was always there and it was gradually getting more and more until a bottle of wine a night was the absolute minimum and was the absolute norm. At the age of 55, I got breast cancer. And at the time, I didn't even realize that there was a link between alcohol and breast cancer. And in fact, again, I probably drank more because my attitude was, I'm going to die anyway, so I might as well have another drink. It was only years after that I discovered that my decades of heavy drinking would have very likely played a role in me getting breast cancer. But fortunately for me, I got through that. And then I had my final wake-up call at the age of 63 when I was away for a weekend with friends and I woke up on the Sunday morning feeling absolutely dreadful and realizing that I'd completely lost a big chunk of the previous day. I couldn't remember about 6 hours of the previous day, even though my friends assured me I'd been walking and talking and I seemed pretty normal. And that really scared me. And in fact, someone was telling me recently that her husband drank to blackout quite a lot. And she said I would look at him and we'd have a conversation when he was in blackouts. And she'd say his eyes were just empty. There was nobody there. And I thought, how scary is that? So that's what I must have been like. But because I was walking along, nobody really looked at my face. So they didn't see that spookiness. So that was when I decided to stop. I woke up the morning after this weekend, said to my husband, that's it, I'm done. To be fair to him, he didn't say, oh, I've heard that before. He said, you've never said that before. You've always said you're going to cut down. So that was the key. I had to quit completely. And I really wish that somebody had told me in my 50s that it's much easier to quit drinking completely than to try to moderate. How did I do it, you might wonder? This was back in 2015. So I trotted along to AA and it didn't really work for me. I didn't like the kind of one size fits all approach. I didn't want to go through the 12 steps. I found it a bit negative. So basically, I educated myself. I read all the books. I listened to the few podcasts that were available in those days. And I built my toolkit. But most importantly, I found my people. Once I realized that AA wasn't for me, I carried on looking because I knew I needed some kind of community. So I found a one-day workshop in London that gave you some tools for behavior change. They gave you some insight into the damage that alcohol does to your brain and your body, which really scared me because I had no idea quite how bad it was. And most importantly, I met people like me, people with good jobs, nice families that were sinking a bottle of wine a night, and they knew that it wasn't sustainable. So these ladies in London, I was still living in South Africa, but we made a little WhatsApp group and we just talked to each other all the time and it worked. That connection for me was everything. So I managed to stay sober. And then I found my passion, which was starting Tribe Sober. So since 2015, I've been building a tribe. I ran physical workshops in Cape Town, Joburg, and London. I had quite a lot of media interest. So I did chat shows and TV and articles. It was great. It was exactly what we needed to get the word out there. And then the membership came because people were coming to the workshops and they were saying, we want to stay connected with you. We want more content. And most importantly, we want to stay connected with each other so that we can all encourage and support each other. And you members that are listening now know just how important that is. So we built the membership in 2018 so that it would satisfy those needs for more content, more connection. And then to celebrate my 5th soberversary in 2020, I started the podcast. So we've now got about 250 episodes out there. If you're like me and you go to lots of webinars, then you know the scene. You get lots of free content, which is what we're just about to dive into. At the end, there's always an offer. And I've been to several webinars and I've got quite excited thinking, oh yeah, they do a program. Yeah, I must sign up for it. And then it gets to the last slide when they put the program up and it's really expensive. And I think, oh, I can't do that. And then I leave feeling rather disappointed. So I just want to mention the offer very briefly at this point so that you know what's coming. We are going to be offering an annual membership at a discounted price. And when you'll see that it is really affordable, it's much cheaper than drinking. So we are offering annual membership, 20% discount. All you need to do is use the code webinar when you sign up. And the first 10 people to sign up as members will get a bonus masterclass. So go to tribesober.com, hit join our tribe if you're interested, and you will see the price in your local currency, and there's 20% off that price. The annual membership is going to give you a year of support for your year of transformation. So let's keep this interactive. Please talk to us in the chat. Tell us where you're from. And just to reiterate who this webinar is for, it's for you if you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, you feel like you just can't do this anymore. And if you know that you're done with alcohol, but you've got no idea how to make a change, I think that keeps a lot of us stuck. That's certainly where I was. I had no idea how. So I had to piece together all of these different methods and different information. And perhaps you're already in that moderation trap and you've tried and failed to quit many times. So by the end of this webinar, you'll understand why you've struggled to make that change. And you'll know 3 steps that you can take. It's my goal that you will end this webinar feeling motivated, excited, and driven to take action. There was a survey done a couple of years ago now by the Tempest Sobriety Group, and they asked hundreds of people in recovery, how long did you worry about your drinking before you reached out for help? And the average time span was 11 years. And the first time I heard this, I thought it was crazy. And then I realized I'd spent the whole of my 50s trying and failing to cut down. So have you been trying to cut down or quit drinking? And to you lovely members that are already alcohol free, just tell us how long you were in that place before you found Tribe Sober and made the change that you need to. So write in the chat and we'll have a look. So why do people get stuck? Why do we get stuck in that place for 11 years? We think it's about willpower. We think we're not that bad. That was me at AA. I was hearing these stories of people waking up drinking scotch and having lost their marriages and their homes. And I thought, oh, I'm not that bad. I'm not like them. They try to do it alone. That's a fatal mistake as well. And they have no idea how to quit. All reasons we get stuck in our drinking. And what about you? Why did you get stuck? Think back if you are alcohol free now. It's always good to reflect back on your journey. Let me just look at some chat here. So Maritza drinking for 30 years, 5 years trying to cut. Well done to you, Maritza, because you're short of that 11 years, aren't you? Monica tried and failed for over 15 years. And now she's 4 years sober. Fantastic. Yay, 145 days alcohol free. That's wonderful. So Magdalene joined the tribe last year. I'd like to return. I tried moderating, but it does not end well. Yeah, it's so true, Magdalene. And I think when we accept that we can never moderate, some of us, we just can't. So once we make peace with that, then we can really move on. So well done for coming back. Are you caught in an inner struggle? I'm sure you're all familiar with the fact that we have a subconscious mind and a conscious mind, and our subconscious mind is the powerful one. The subconscious is running the show because we do so much on automatic, really. Your subconscious is so powerful. And if you have these kind of conversations that I had for many years, my conscious mind knew that I had to stop drinking. Yet every time I inwardly voiced that wish, my subconscious would pile in and say things like, but you'll never have fun again, Janet, and how are you going to relax, and you're going to lose all your friends. So you end up with this conflict, an inner conflict, and it's very uncomfortable feeling. So how are we going to end this struggle? Here's the 3 steps that we suggest. We want you to look at your mindset, think about where you are emotionally, and then we're going to talk to you about community. So I'm going to hand over to Lynette, who is going to talk you through this bit.
Hi, everyone, and well done for being here. I mean, I think that's a huge celebration, to just celebrate yourselves for being here and showing up and being on this journey for yourself. And it's really fantastic. So on Saturday, it's going to be me celebrating 7 years sober. And I have to pinch myself because so much has changed in 7 years, from hating my life to reinventing myself and now living on an island. One of the first tools that I really learned on this journey that changed everything for me was mindset, the importance of mindset. When I heard that my thoughts and my beliefs actually shaped my reality, and that I needed to get curious about my mindset around alcohol. What did I believe about alcohol? What did I think about it? I used to just have these automatic thoughts like, if I gave up, how would I ever feel good again? I didn't even know that was running subconsciously. Mindset and understanding your mindset, what are your beliefs around alcohol, is such a game changer. So step one is change your mindset. So realize where you are buying into beliefs. Like one of my belief that I would never feel good again. How will I ever feel good again? And I also learned that whenever I ask my brain a question, it's really good to answer it. Otherwise, it will source its own answer. And its own subconscious answer was never. And it was such a lie. So our brains get hijacked, and our brains are always listening and learning by marketing and societal norms. We think it's normal to drink, so we also learn through mirror neurons. So what we observe around us, because we learn from that, and we see people having fun and everybody's drinking. It's in the movies, it's in the series. I think it's within the first 2 minutes of a movie already somebody is pouring themselves a drink and watching a sunset. And this all creates our belief and our mindset around alcohol, that it's an upgrade, that it upgrades our experiences, that it helps us relax. All of these things, you need a surface. What is your mindset? What have you bought into? And how has marketing and society actually shaped a lot of your beliefs? And so that we think it's normal to drink. And everybody drinks. So if I can't drink, it means I'm not normal. So we want to really look at all of these things. That's really step one. And how do you change your mindset? Yeah, so it starts with really looking at your beliefs around alcohol. So get the facts, research, books, podcasts, and doing the work, like really uncoupling your activities from alcohol. That is another big game changer. Like looking for evidence that you can have fun without alcohol. That was a big one also for me, that going out and going to parties would no longer be fun, or even going out for dinner with my husband would not be fun, because everything for me was around the alcohol. What was I going to drink? What wine was I going to have? It was amazing how much brain space alcohol consumed. So uncoupling alcohol from activities is a big one. And learning to be sitting with yourself, watching a sunset without any wine or champagne, game changer. That was one of the game changers for me. And really realizing being present and really being with a sunset was much more powerful than having a glass of wine thinking it's upgrading the experience. So start seeing through the marketing nonsense. Reframe the issue. You don't have a drinking problem, you have an opportunity for personal growth. That's a big one, when we can start reframing our thoughts and beliefs and into a more positive mindset. Instead of saying you've got a problem, you've got an opportunity. What is the opportunity? Whenever we give our brain like a little challenge, this is an opportunity. The brain goes there. When we tell the brain this is a problem, the brain goes there. So either one is true. So that's where you have so much power. And when you learn this, it's transformative. You will gain so much more than you will lose, I promise. You will lose hangovers, anxiety, self-loathing, regret, excess weight. I lost 25 pounds. And poor quality sleep. I mean, that might take a while, but the sleep comes back. So you will gain better health, more energy, less anxiety, and self-worth, a sense of peace and freedom, more time, more money. I can't believe how much money used to go on alcohol. So how do you feel at the prospect of ditching the booze? What are you afraid of? Please tell us in the chat. Like I said, mine was that I would never feel good again. And emotions, drive our behavior. When I realized that, yes, our thoughts generate our feelings, but it's our feelings that drive our actions or inactions. So what are you feeling right now about not drinking, about ditching alcohol out of your life? Just share in the chat. Fear of not having fun, yeah. Not joining in socially, yes, Maritza, that's it. Eh? The fear, the feeling of fear. And the fear is of not having fun. So two emotions combined. Fear to not have the taste of a good wine. It's interesting that fear is the one that comes up. I fear not fitting in. So fear is the big one that I'm seeing here. I had the fear of never feeling good again. And it's so interesting, fear. Okay, so let's look at emotion and the power of emotion. So we can actually rewire our brain with emotion by recognizing the opportunity of how we use our emotions. And we can utilize our emotions for us, because when we understand that everything we do or don't do is because of how we feel, and that our feelings are generated from our thoughts, we can get curious, which is how do I get excited about this? Currently, my thought is, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of failing. That emotion brings up the fear. But when we get curious, we'll think a thought like, what if this is possible for me and I get free from this addiction or from this habit? What else will be possible for me? You get curious, you get excited, and you live fearlessly. You feel all the feelings. And that is the next clue, is when we learn to grow our capacity, to increase our capacity to feel all the feels. Now, when we tend to drink a lot, we numb our feelings. We think we're feeling, but we actually just numbing them away. And so when we stop drinking often, our feelings start to really surface again, all of them. And we don't know what to do with them. And so learning how to feel. I remember my coach saying to me, Lynette, you don't have a drinking problem. You have an under-feeling problem. It was such a clue, because I was like, oh, what do you mean? She said, why do you drink? And I would say, I've had a bad day at work, so I get home and I have a glass of wine. And she said, so you have a bad day at work. The feeling is stress or frustration. You don't want to feel that feeling, so you go and you drink. And I was like, oh, wow, I never thought about it like that. So when you understand the underlying feeling that you're trying to avoid, you think it's the situation. It's because you had an argument with your partner. You think it's because your kids are unruly, and you think it's because it's all just too much. But what is the underlying feeling that you are wanting to avoid? When we utilize our emotions like that, we become so empowered. We become so aware. So how else can I find a way to switch off from my day of work and give myself a sense of relaxation? How can I be with frustration? If I'm feeling frustrated, what is frustrated trying to tell me? So we get curious about our emotions, and we get excited to really get in touch with them and see how they are there really just as our teachers and our guides to what is really going on, what is really triggering us. So what is really powerful? We talk about rewiring your brain by not drinking. So what does it have to do with thinking and feelings? Neurons that wire together, fire together, which is such an interesting, what does that mean? Neurons that wire together, fire together. So when a neuron, which transports a thought, wires together with another one that is an emotion, and they align, we get a match. For example, I'm so excited about going out this evening, and I'm going to have a really good time, and I'm not going to drink. So I'm going to have the thought, I'm going to have a good time. My thought was, I'm going to be the fun. I felt what that felt like in my body. I'm going to be the fun. So I dressed differently. I showed up differently. I had fun. My thoughts and my feelings aligned, and I had a new belief. I am the fun. I know how to have fun. I don't need a drink. That's how you rewire your brain. But be ready in coaching, which is where I really learned to do this. We look at what are your thoughts, what feelings are they creating. These are pathways in your brain, deep belief systems that automatically give you experiences. When you learn how to really become conscious of the kind of thoughts and beliefs you want to think, the kind of feelings you want to generate, and you want to align them, magic happens. So you can rewire your brain by not drinking, by using your beautiful brain, your thoughts and your feelings to drive the actions that excite you, that empower you, and give you new beliefs about not drinking. Discomfort is the currency of growth. This was another game changer for me, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So often I sit in a session with a client and it's all about, I'm going to the airport, I'm going to want a drink. And how can I avoid that discomfort? How can I not sit through the discomfort of an urge? How can I distract myself? Because we think we can't feel discomfort. We think we can't self-regulate. And so we have to distract ourselves from ourselves. And I learned in my approach that you want to engage with the discomfort and you want to be able to sit with the urge and allow it and notice what it does. When you can feel the desire for the drink and not answer it, you rewire and you tell yourself, I can do this. I don't have to distract myself. I don't have to make sure that there's no alcohol in the house. You build self-trust. And self-trust is such a beautiful emotion. It's such a beautiful quality to really embrace, because the opposite of uncertainty is not certainty, because we can never have certainty, but we can have self-trust. And that's why self-trust is so important. We think, will I ever get the hang of this? Will I ever be able to stop drinking forever? And we don't have certainty, but our brain somehow is always trying to want to give us certainty. So I always say, instead of certainty, build self-trust. I can trust myself. And self-trust is not about being perfect at all. This is how it is on this journey. We struggle in the beginning. We are uncomfortable. It's not comfortable to be at our first party and not drink when everybody else is. There's so many situations that feel awkward. And it's just saying, in the beginning, it's awkward. And then suddenly one day, it just flows. So getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, superpower, power move. Then the recovery curve. This is such a beautiful way to look at how emotions play such a big role in our year of transformation. These emotions that are going to come up, why they are there, how you can be with them. In the beginning, when we start off the journey, often we start off feeling quite motivated. Maybe I can use this now. I'm here, I'm at this webinar, and I've got an opportunity, and you feel excited. That's the time that you want to really act on your excitement. So you want to utilize that initial motivation to get you going. But throughout this recovery curve, I'm going to just ask you to be curious and to embrace curiosity over judgment. Always. Curiosity is another superpower. It's when we get curious, we get into possibility. When we get into judgment, judgment X's out all our potential. It just has no upside. So getting into curiosity and compassion. This is not a linear process, as you will see. I wish that it was. I start here, I end there. It's a straight line and it's easy. It's like crossing the river over that ditch. No, you're going to feel all the things. So initially there'll be motivation, and then you're going to have disillusionment, and you're going to feel challenged, and you're going to feel a little bit like, is this really working? What's changed? So you want to use your emotions here. So what emotions do you want to really use when you starting to feel disillusionment? You're feeling, this is hard, this is harder than I expected. Or maybe you're getting to a point where you deny, was there really even a problem? So you want to just notice these are all kind of emotions, and that they're going to bubble up, and have curiosity and have compassion with yourself, especially when you're going through the more difficult emotions of, this is bigger than I thought, feeling overwhelmed. You want to learn how to sit with these emotions with patience and with grace. Setbacks are opportunities. So if you find that you're falling down the curve a little bit and you've had a bit of a setback, again, what have I learned about myself? What was that emotion that got me? What did I tell myself? These are just such beautiful clues for you to start building a beautiful relationship with yourself and get to know you, and get to expand your capacity to feel all these feels and to really engage with them rather than trying to distract from them and be happy all the time. Use compassion and curiosity with that recovery curve. I just want to end with, use all those emotions to integrate your journey, tie them into your why, tie them into possibility, tie them into excitement and opportunity. Learn and trust that your emotions are part of your aliveness.
Oh, thank you, Lynette. That was great. Community, find your people. Why do we need this community? We need a safe and judgment-free space. We need positive role models, and Sue's come up with some amazing statistics recently about just how many people in the tribe have racked up so much alcohol-free time. In a nutshell, I think it's 40% of our 400 members are alcohol free, and they're thriving in that space. So that's wonderful, because they're still with us, because they love being in the community, they're paying it forward, and they're getting joy from helping new people to do what they've done. So it's a beautiful model that's evolving. When I set up Tribe Sober, I didn't dream that would happen. I thought people would join and then they'd get sober, hopefully, and then they'd go. But we're managing to build a family almost. So those people are giving positive role models, encouragement and support, and accountability obviously is so important. And that's why it doesn't work doing this thing alone, because I used to try and I would just white knuckle it for 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks sometimes. And then I would have a bad day and I would think, oh, to hell with it, I'm going to have a glass of wine. And then that would start leading to many more glasses of wine, of course. And it was because I felt nobody cared whether I had that glass of wine or not. But if I'd been in a community at that stage, I would have posted, oh, had a rough day, really fancy a glass of wine. And then everyone would have piled in and said, oh, no, you don't want to spoil the sober time. Just get through it. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I would have kept going. And yeah, if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear me say at the beginning that we need a new tribe, because our family tribe, most families will not acknowledge that there's a big problem, and they'll say, why don't you just cut down? And of course, most of us can't. Or your drinking buddies will say, don't be ridiculous. You only drink like I drink. And so obviously you don't have a problem. So people don't get it. They don't understand. And we definitely need a new community, people that understand us, because community connects. And if you've seen that fabulous talk by Johan Hari, the TED Talk, where he concludes that connection is the opposite of addiction, do watch it if you haven't. It's an amazing talk with a very interesting experiment he takes you through, which proves that connection is the opposite of addiction. And of course, the reason why we're so close in our tribe is that none of us are afraid to be vulnerable. And the fact that we have some tears in some of our Zoom meetings just proves that people are prepared to be real and authentic. And we feel that way because we know that people understand us. There are other people there, they know exactly what we're going through because they're either going through it themselves or they've been through it and they remember. And I'm 9 years sober, and I remember very clearly those early days and how difficult they were. And of course, community connects people on the same path. And there's something beautiful about going through a journey, especially a life-changing journey like this, going through it with other people. And I've got a few video testimonials for you here. Here's Lisa, who runs our US group.
I'm from the United States, and I joined Tribe Sober back in March of 2023. I actually quit drinking in February of 2023, but I knew I needed a little bit of extra help and connection. So that's why I joined in March. So let's see, I will be alcohol free for 14 months on April 8th. It's one of the best things I've ever done for myself. I feel totally amazing. And I also host the Zoom calls for the US and Canada group every Tuesday night from 7 until 8 o'clock. And hope to see you guys there sometime.
Oh, yeah, Lisa's great. I'll always remember her doing a talk at the Zoom Cafe celebrating her 1 year of soberversary. And I said, share a tip with us. And she said, my tip is that at the beginning of this journey, you have to obsess over sobriety. You have to really read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, and just think about it a lot. I'll always remember that. And that's exactly what she did and why she's doing so well. We've got Bon Clay.
For many years, I tried by myself to stop drinking. And it's not easy when you don't have the right support and if you don't have people that are really rooting for you. I'm now enjoying the fruits of sobriety, all thanks to Tribe Sober and the amazing community I found.
And just one more, another US one.
She's been wanting to quit drinking for, like me, many years, 2 decades, in fact. And you have no sobriety or periods of sobriety, and you just, you want that permanent change of perspective, belief. This might be the place for you. It sure was for me.
And Susanna actually celebrated her 2 years of sobriety this week. I put it in the newsletter. So she's another one that's done amazingly well after trying and failing for years and years. And here's a written testimonial from the lovely Roz with her husband there, because he also went sober after she set the example. And she's beyond grateful for the support. Yes, she quit drinking on the day that she joined. And those of us that were there will always remember her first day at the Zoom Cafe where she was crying and feeling helpless, hopeless. And she actually quit drinking on that day. And she's made friends who'll be at her side forever. So that's just beautiful. And she was 70 years old when she joined. So lovely example there. I think these guys were celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary in that lovely picture. She's a Brit who lives in Spain. Yeah, community can be fun, just in case any non-members are watching this and worried that it's all full of doom and gloom. It's far from it. We've even got our own cartoonist. One of our members is a hugely talented artist, and she draws little cartoons for us. And this is the 4 a.m. one where I think we've all been there. Bad night, wake up at 4 a.m. doing that quiz on the laptop, am I an alcoholic? And then we managed to skew the answers so that it says, oh, you should probably cut down a bit rather than you should quit, heaven forbid. And then we can go back to sleep. And the cat just thinks, oh, here we go again. So yeah, this is what Sarah said about Tribe Sober, that she wasn't sure it would suit a cautious introvert like me, But to my great surprise, I was soon all over the groups, connecting and enjoying the chat, sharing information and ideas. And I had no idea what was missing, and now I'm 2 years sober and forever grateful. Oh, Sarah, we're forever grateful for your fabulous drawings. So are we your community? That's the question. I know for quite a few of you watching this, we are, and we're very grateful to you for being our members, and we love watching you transform your lives. If you're not a member yet, then just to reiterate, we're only 400 members, whereas some sobriety groups have got thousands of members. But that's the way we like it, because mostly it's Sue and myself working full time, but we feel like we can give people personal attention if at those kind of numbers. And there's no membership overwhelm either. We work hard on that because I've joined memberships in the past, and they send you courses and articles and just so much content. You don't know where to start, and you think, how on earth am I going to fit all this in? So we do guide you through it. And Sue's designed this fabulous members journey, as we call it, where literally you can just go in every day and get a new slice of content. It might be a podcast or a book recommendation or an article. We talk about doing the work, and she's crafted something where you can do the work that is appropriate for your stage of sobriety. So we guide you all the way. So let us help you build a beautiful alcohol-free lifestyle. When I describe Tribe Sober membership, I use this analogy. I say that the membership is a journey, and it's a journey that takes you from, this is the moderation swamp, and this is a hungover lady, and we take you from these places to the sunlit beaches of sobriety. We take you to a better place. And I like to use the analogy of booking a holiday. So I booked a holiday a while ago, and when I booked that holiday, I wasn't thinking about the journey. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'll have to get up really early and go to the airport, and then I'll have to stand in a queue, and will I have the seat that I want, and what will the food be like, and then I'll have to change planes and there'll be another queue. And then when I get to this island, I then have to get a boat, and I'm going to arrive there really late, and will I be able to find where I'm going? I didn't think of any of that. All I did was look at these fabulous pictures of this place that I wanted to go to. So I just focused on the destination. If you're thinking of taking this step, just focus on the destination, because the destination is a happier and healthier lifestyle with many benefits. You're going to look better, feel better, have better relationships, more energy. And in fact, it's a springboard for self-development. I say to people that are considering joining, you've got two choices now. You can either do nothing, you can stay in that struggle place for maybe 11 more years, and your life is going to stay the same. Because that's one thing we can say about drinkers, because I think with a lot of us watching this, we've been there. And there's a kind of Groundhog Day. We wake up feeling bad and we think, oh, I'm not going to drink tonight. And by 5 o'clock, we're feeling quite perky. So we have just one glass of wine and off we go again. And if we're in that kind of rut, our lives will never evolve. We're just literally stuck. And another thing you can guarantee is that you will become more dependent. You'll be drinking more and more. I went from having 1 or 2 glasses a night to 2 bottles towards the end. And I could drink 2 bottles of wine and feel nothing at all. So your drinking is going to get worse if you carry on, because it's been designed to do that. It's an addictive substance, and that's what it does. Or, of course, you can be in our safe space of transformation and embark on this life-changing journey and become the person you were meant to be. Because I think far too many of us, when we were drinkers, we would look at the homeless man on the street, the alcoholic, and think, I'm not like him, so I'm fine. But really, we want to compare ourselves with the best version of ourselves that we can be. So it's a matter of choose your heart. This is something I've stolen from Lynette that I love. I always remember she was complaining to her therapist that it was all too hard, and the therapist said, what's wrong with hard? So at this point, you need to choose your hard. Are you going to do this thing, quit drinking, and have a period of adjustment? Yes, it will be hard for a few months, but if you're curious, if you listen and learn, we'll help you to get through. It's so much harder to keep drinking, become more dependent, more isolated, more anxious, and put your health at risk. So always remember that alcohol is a trap and a thief. It's going to steal all these things from you: your sleep, your looks, your health, your time, your money, your peace of mind, your energy and motivation. I mean, that is just about everything that makes our lives good. So don't let it steal from you. And wouldn't it be worth it to be alcohol-free without feeling deprived? To break free from the guilt, the blame, and the shame cycle, to end the struggle and learn to love yourself again. That definitely happens, because I believe drinking too much is a path to self-destruction. And when we do this thing, we learn to love ourselves again. And we wake up full of energy and joy. So we're inviting you into our place of transformation. This is the offer that I mentioned at the beginning. Yeah, 40% of our members are sober now, and hundreds of tribe members have changed their lives. And what do you get from being a tribe member? You know all about the community, you get accountability, challenges and trackers. Our 66-day challenge is starting on the 1st of September, by the way. And knowledge, the member journey program. The offer is 20% discount using the code webinar. And then we're offering a bonus masterclass for the first 10 people to sign up as members. This is the bonus. It's the masterclass. It helps you dismantle your limiting beliefs and to build your own sobriety toolkit. Shows you how to thrive in your alcohol-free life. It comprises of a series of short videos and a workbook. Altogether, it's 3 hours of self-study. So that'll give you a flying start to your year of transformation. And why do we offer annual? We're offering annual in this webinar because we want people to commit to the whole recovery curve, to the 12 months. There's a rule of thumb they use in rehab that it takes 1 month of recovery for every year you drank. So recovery isn't a quick fix, and it's also about much more than quitting drinking. We say that 10% of recovery is to quit drinking, and the other 90% is to discover who you are, to reconfigure your life, to reconnect with yourself, and to discover what you really love doing. Remember, recovery will take time. And we don't want you to just sign up as a member, of course. We want you to succeed. We want to carry on putting together those amazing stats that we've got so many sober members. I've been doing this for 8 years now, and looking at all the people that have come through Tribe Sober and got sober, I've noticed that it takes most people about 6 months to really change their habit. And then after that 6 months, there's still work to do. You have to make your sobriety stick through the hard times and the bad times. The first time something bad happens, your default will be to drink, but you'll have to make your sobriety stick. And being in a community will help you to do that. So allocate 6 months to change your habit, 6 months to build an alcohol-free life that you love. You only pay for 10 months, and then you get the discount on top of that. just go to the website and hit join our tribe, and we've got the masterclass bonus. You shouldn't really think of your membership subs as a cost. Think of it as an investment. You know, you're investing in your health and happiness. And 1 month tribe subs in most countries equals about 3 bottles of wine. And isn't this a better way to spend that money than more poison and more habit building? So make 2024 the year you invest in yourself. Faith is taking that first step, even if you can't see the whole staircase. And those of you that are now alcohol-free and watching this, I'm sure you remember that at the beginning, when you began on this journey, you had no idea how it would evolve and how good it would be. I know I certainly didn't. I remember thinking I'll be a bit healthier, but I had no idea what a life-changing journey I was embarking on. And I'm giving the last word to Hélène.
Hi, my name's Hélène. I'm 55 years old, and I decided to quit drinking just over 6 months ago. It was whilst listening to a podcast one day, I came across this lady who struck a chord called Janet Gourand. She had set up a group called Tribe Sober. It was a global community with people on there who had been sober for many years and for many minutes and everything in between. And so I immediately went onto her website and signed up and have not regretted it. Every single day I tap into the WhatsApp messages. It's such a nice feeling. And by literally 6 months later, I feel like I know these women. We have a Zoom cafe on Saturday where we all check in. So I couldn't recommend Tribe Sober more to fill in that huge gap, which is community, support, help, love, tips, you name it. So get on, go and do it. Don't even hesitate for one moment, and good luck to you in your sober journey.